of invincibility. Back-to-back NBA titles can do that for you. They are desperate for respect and the right to be called champion. When these two worlds collide, you expect nothing short of a battle. Their NBA record 12-game road win streak snap. Game 2 left the defending champs with a bad taste in their mouth. Tonight, the Lakers return home. Can they recapture that aura of dominance? Or will the Kings move one step closer to their ultimate goal? Game 3 is next.
This is the NBA on NBC.
On a beautiful 76-degree day in Los Angeles, a capacity crowd better than 19,000 making their way into Staples Arena as the scene has shifted to Southern California for Game 3 of this best-of-7 Western Conference Finals. And the Sacramento Kings getting ready to hit the floor at Staples. The Lakers coming out of the tunnel as they look to continue their home court mastery over the Kings. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert, along with Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones.
Game 2 that made the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers sick, because the dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe, despite the illness of complacency and the lack of intensity, they came through on a combined basis. Their numbers in Game 2 were better. But what happened to the rest of the guys here, the X Factors, Fox and Horry, the starting forwards? These guys are normally so reliable, so precise, and in Game 3 they were magnificent. Game 2, though, there was a significant and ultimately game-turning drop-off, particularly from Horry and Fox. Those are the guys that handle the ball all the time.
A lot has been written and a lot has been said. I spoke to Rick Adelman before the game. He said he's sick and tired of all that the Lakers have been saying. If they're so good, they ought to play the game. That's right. I'm tired of it. Just let him play. I took that reply to Shaquille O'Neal, to which Shaq told me, I wish they would just play and not flop. Mark?
All right, Jim. Following some of these sarcastic comments by Phil Jackson about the decibel level of this crowd as compared to Arco, they are on their feet here at the start. The opening tip controlled by the Kings. Turkoglu, not over the hit. And he took a shot under the left eye.
He didn't seem ready for the opening tap. That's a mind-boggling development. You got to capitalize on every opportunity to win in this building.
Kobe Bryant coming up short. He thought he was fouled. He's looking at the official. The officials tonight, Steve Javie, Bennett Salvatore, and Don Baden. We are just underway. Game 3, the series even at 1. Sacramento 4-0 on the road in this year's playoffs, and they have been red hot away from Arco. 16 wins in the last 18 road games. The last time Sacramento lost on the road was here in the last game of the regular season against the Lakers. Fisher not able to find the touch.
Well, the interesting thing for Sacramento will be at this end of the floor, how quickly they move the ball. Do they end up trying to go one-on-one, or do they move the ball, move people, and end up making the Lakers defend them? Robert Horry, nicked already.
Chris Webber putting that ball on the floor immediately and going to the hoop.
Well, they say the foul on Derek Fisher, although it was Horry who complained to the official. Webber goes behind the back to Divac. Divac gives it up to Christie. Here is Webber. And Shaquille O'Neal, who looked as good as we have seen him in several weeks in the loss the other night in Sacramento.
He's got a real bounce to his step, Mark. Something we haven't seen. Another turnover. Phil Jackson, he wanted none of those.
Bibby stripped and fouled by Fox.
Phil Jackson said the keys to the game tonight were control of the board. That means more possessions for Los Angeles. Get an offensive attack that involves everybody, and then don't turn the ball over so that your transition defense is not exposed. The Kings, the best in the league in getting out in transition. They have not been able to do that because Sacramento has not been successful on the glass during this series.
Bibby averaging 19 points in the postseason, up from just under 14 In the regular season, this is a guy every day at practice shoots at least 500 jump shots from all angles, and clearly he's been the difference in the Kings this season. He is the reason that they're in their first conference final series.
There is some tightness by both teams, and that tells us how important the game is for both. I mean, the balls have been misfired offensively. They're not moving real quickly and precisely right now.
Well, Kobe Bryant showing us the precise jump shot right on target, and that's the first field goal of the game.
Sacramento trying to attack Shaq, make him guard the ball virtually every possession.
Nice ball movement, and Weber shows the touch. Rick Adelman coming to the defense of Chris Weber, saying this is the way we want him to play. I know you disagree with that, Bill.
He has to say that, but nobody in his right mind is going to say get out on the perimeter when you don't really have another post-up option.
Weber sets the pick. Bibby fires. So Mike Bibby has given the Kings a 5-2 lead.
Do whatever you can if you're Sacramento to keep this crowd so hungry, so thirsty out of this game and back in their seats.
The real critical thing for the Kings is to be in the game at the end of one. Don't be behind like they were at home at the end of the first quarter, where the Lakers shot lights out 9-10 in that first quarter of play.
Devon's given the shot. Shaq did not come out on Bloody. 3 minutes gone by here at the start. Bryant. Nice play by Horry, who comes off the playoff career-high 20 rebound game the other night. Horry with the shot. Yes! Phil Jackson wants Robert Horry to shoot more, as he did in Game 1 when he hit 6 of 12.
And he only shot 5 times in that second game. He feels that just isn't enough in order to get them to come out and allow Shaq to go to work.
What a dribbling exhibition by Chris Weber.
Doug Christie, the outstanding defensive player, trying to handle Bryant, went right by him, but could not convert. Back comes Christie. Here's Bibby on a quick release. So Mike Bibby off to the fast start. And the Kings have a 7-5 lead.
You're seeing a very crisp and sharp ball movement for Sacramento, something that they didn't get done in Game 1, where they were trying to pound the ball, and the Laker defense was just too solid.
Derek Fisher sending it out to Robert Horry, around Chris Weber. 5 to Shaquille O'Neal.
Chris Weber is just too casual on his defensive closeout there. Robert Horry just pump fake. Vlade has to rotate. That is just unacceptable if you're going to try to win as a team.
Well, there are 2 players that they want to attack. The Kings want to attack Shaquille O'Neal. He's going to give them certain shots, and the Lakers want to attack Chris Weber.
Well, Weber tried to take it to the rim, but he was stripped. 4 on 3. Fisher way off, and his shooting has been off. In 10 playoff games, he's only 32% from the field. In fact, the two previous games against Sacramento, only 2 of 10 from downtown. Devon, yes.
That's what we saw from Vlade in Game 2. It's a beautiful offensive scheme. Vlade Divac, I think the second best center in the NBA today, and the most qualified to challenge Shaq because of his multi-talented and varied game.
And hung in very well against Shaq, despite the big numbers by O'Neal. Devon's had 15 points, 14 rebounds. That's last touched by Weber.
A big concern, I think, though, for Sacramento is that Chris Weber has taken 3 shots. Every single one of them have been from the outside. They hadn't even looked at establishing a low post game.
Well, I think it would sink in for you, Bill, that they're not going to look for a low post game from Weber.
Hedo Turkoglu able to hit his first field goal. He was 0 for 8 in Game 1. Missed his first 3 shots in Game 2. And in fact, in the entire playoffs, he's only 35% from the field. And he's an important guy because of that injury to Petra Stojakovic. O'Neal is fouled.
That's where they want to get Shaq rolling across the middle. Once he gets all of that weight moving, he's a real tough guy to really get under control.
Foul on Bloody Divac, and now timeout is taken by the Lakers. 6 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Good start by the Kings. They lead 11-7.
And a guy who's willing to make and take the big shots.
Now Billy defending on Fisher. Nice fake by Derek Fisher. With an 11-9 lead.
One of the things that Jackson told Fisher is get something easy. Try to get inside that line before you get too crazy about bombing away from the outside. And that should be a good start for him.
Bryant switches off to Weber and a foul.
The 2 times Weber has gone to the hoop, he's got a foul. And that's how you establish control of a game. That's what Shaq does. That's what Jabbar did. That's what Magic and Jordan always did. That's what great players do. Also what great players do is they identify what their team lacks. And that's what they contribute.
So the Kings now lead it by the score of 13-9 as Christie is able to hit on his first field goal attempt.
All the starters are in for the Kings, and that's a great sign for them. So everybody's touched it.
Nice fadeaway by Robert Horry, who is looking for his shot here at the start. Bibby to the crossover, met on a switch. Weber behind the back to Divac. Nice move by Vlade.
You attack Shaq and make him guard the ball. That opens up the court for the rest of the guys. Vlade can score, he can pass, he can create for others. That time a beautiful kiss off the glass.
And the Kings have hit 7 of 12 from the field. Fox on a second opportunity is fouled.
The kind of fouls that Adelman does not want Weber to get. Just reaching and picking up the foul. But even though the ball isn't swung all the way across the floor, they get the ball movement. The result is a hoop for Vlade Divac.
But the quick hitting attack for Sacramento has been very impressive. Chris Webber, 2 breakdowns so far defensively, has cost his team mightily both times.
Foul on Weber, his first. While we have a moment here, we'd like to extend our best wishes to Los Angeles Lakers Public Relations Director John Black, who is under the weather, not in attendance tonight. We hope to see John back here at courtside shortly. Actually, he is the only person who appears to understand Jim Gray. So John, get back soon.
What's wrong with John?
Sacramento has hit 7 of their last 9 from the field. Just under 5 remaining in the first. Pushed it off the spin, out of control, and fouled one up. Recovered by Turkoglu.
Bring it out and set this one up now.
Turkoglu. We're seeing a different Turkoglu here at the start of Game 3.
He may have settled down. You know, he might have put too much pressure on himself to try to be bigger and better than he is at the offensive end. This is his first time playing in the Western Conference Final against the Lakers, and that's big news worldwide.
Bibby is hammered by Horry.
Turkoglu is the type of player just getting started in his career will end up being a very, very good basketball player, but the kind of guy who finds his rhythm once the games start getting backed up against each other. And he gets the big minutes now, and he can relax and realize that in the end, it's just stroking jumpers.
Turkoglu in his second NBA season, the first ever Turkish-born NBA player. His favorite Stojakovic, in fact, Hito is the youngest of the Kings' Eastern European connection. Divac, Stojakovic, and Hito. Oh, rejected by Divac.
Kings got numbers, but they don't have the ball in a good place to take advantage of. There was Weber right at the rim.
Divac finding Weber. And some confusion defensively by the Lakers.
And again, they're making Shaq guard the ball. Vlade is playing a very good game in the early going here. Plus, not picking up fouls. Shaq needs to start establishing himself going to the hoop.
Fox taking it to the rim, and he's fouled. Hit by Turkoglu.
What they have to do is throw Shaq the ball, and they haven't been doing that. As the Los Angeles Lakers moved the ball inside, and Robert Horry maybe got a little happy. A little bit too far away from the rim that time. Maybe when he was younger, he would have been able to throw that down, but the results are when you have numbers, you move the ball, you move people, you get Chris Webber right at the rim.
Finally, a strategy that we're seeing that's got some success and a chance to work. Drive the ball to Shaq. He will come and guard the ball. Then you lay it off, and the rest of the guys then, they're exposed for their deficiencies.
Now Samaki Walker has come on for Robert Horry. Sits down with 5 points. Phil Jackson going to Horry in the starting lineup, feeling that he presents more problems for Sacramento at the offensive end.
Well, he does, but at the same time, he also realizes that Horry has a tendency sometimes to forget about parts of his game, and they need some rebounding right now.
Webber going at Walker. Ooh, I don't know. Lakers felt his offensive interference, but Divac gets credit.
Every time Webber's gone to the hoop, good things have happened. And you're going to tell me that that's not their strategy?
22-13, Sacramento, 3 minutes remaining here on the first. Fisher, quick through. So it's a two-pointer, but that's a good sign for the Lakers.
Well, their three-point shooting has been abysmal in this Western Conference Finals.
3 for 19 the other night in Game 2, and Chris Webber with his third bucket. He has 6 points, so the Kings continue the excellent shooting, leading by 9. Fox coming up short. Turkoglu on the rebound.
Now the Lakers are in one of those stretches where they forgot about Shaq. Shaq has not touched the ball at all. They're just getting guys going on their own, and that's not part of their game.
Christie hits the 3. Meanwhile, the Lakers are only 6 for 20 from the field in this first quarter.
In the worst of possible scenarios, but now Sacramento has hope. They have confidence, momentum swinging their way.
O'Neal triple teamed and lost it. Webber with the save. Here comes Billy. He has Christie wide open. Off the ball fake. Gives it to Turkoglu. Tip missed by Turkoglu. Lakers got a break.
Wow, you've got to make those layups like that. Turkoglu and Christie right at the basket.
O'Neal rolling to the rim, but Divac was able to recover.
A great defensive first quarter for the Sacramento Kings. They've reacted extremely well. Out of it, they're making shots.
And Chris Webber continues to hit the outside shot. 4 for 7. 8 points. Lakers are hearing the boos from the crowd as they trail 29-15. Bryant is fouled.
Chris Webber's doing everything right on the offensive end. A couple of careless breakdowns defensively, but Vlade Divac has never played better against Shaquille O'Neal's entire career.
Foul called on Christie, but a timeout is taken by the Lakers with 1:22 left in the first.
To start that Sacramento had after their first game at home and ended up spotting the Lakers a 14-point lead, which they never recovered from.
Kings in the midst of a 14-3 run, and the bad Laker shooting continues. They're now 6 for 21 from the field with Shaquille O'Neal sitting down. Devin George has checked in. We approach 1 minute remaining in this first quarter, and the Kings have a 29-15 advantage.
Now this will be a real good test for the Lakers and their ability to come back from some adverse situations after spotting this team a lead.
Turkoglu from downtown, and as he turns things around.
We're seeing an incredible level of confidence right now in Sacramento. Webber with the strong start. 4 buckets, 4 assists. Vlade torching Shaq. Now they got to keep it going and don't get relaxed.
Well, the good play by Christie to steal from Bryant. Here's Christie behind the back for Turkoglu. Lakers get back, and Sacramento has to reset.
Well, he wants to go one-on-one and doesn't really get the lane that he wants, but he's still hungry for this shot.
Shot clock down to 5. Nice ball movement. Christie rejected by Bryant with 3 on the 24.
One pass and one dribble too many. Bibby passed up a shot, and Christie took that extra dribble, so they got 3 to get it up and down.
Only 15 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Conversation between Samaki Walker and Vlade Divac on positioning on the inbounds.
This is a perfect place for the guy who's inbounding the ball to step right back and get it.
Well, Divac had it knocked away. Only one remaining on the shot clock.
Now you get to throw something up at the hoop and have Weber rise above the crowd and throw one down.
You said he doesn't have explosion.
Well, that was the plan. But Ori was able to step in front, and now the Lakers hold for the final shot of what has been a dismal first quarter for the Lakers. Here is Bryant. That would have counted. So the Los Angeles Lakers, 6 of 22 shooting. The Kings on fire, 14 of 26. The entire team getting into the act. Chris Webber, 8 points, 4 assists. Hedo Turkoglu, 3 of 6 for 7 points. The Kings, 32. The Lakers, 15. Courts in real life. Crime and Punishment premieres Sunday, June 16th, right here on NBC. A timeout has been called. 7:21 remaining in the third. Sacramento up by 19. Jack always on hand. This time with Adam Sandler and the greatest right behind us. Pretty good group. This may be an all-time celebrity crowd, even for LA.
Without question. Also, without question, is the fact that Sacramento has to win this game. They've never won a playoff game at Staples. 0-5, average deficit of 14 points per game. Now they're in perfect position. They've got to sustain their offensive attack.
And all time, 1 up and 10 down here against the Lakers at Staples.
Well, you know, they've only scored the Lakers 2 points in just about 5 minutes of play.
Shot clock at 2. Ori not able to hit from three-point land.
Sacramento's defense. Vlade pushing Shaq out. Christie jumping in and out, thwarting Ori's attempts.
It's a 61-42 Sacramento lead. Divac. Ori on the rebound. Lakers not able to get anything going here in the third. The pass by Bryant picked off.
Now, when you get a turnover in your Sacramento, you can't celebrate. That's your chance to come back and get something easy.
Oh, Weber able to put it down. Chris Webber with 16.
That's a play they run where Christie realizes that the defense is committed to him and they just throws it up on the board. You know your big guy is right there.
Steve, you're doubting that.
He's the only guy that knows it's a play. It's a wild shot.
When you're coming down the lane and you know that there's been a switch defensively, there's nobody there on Weber. Just put it high on the glass. That's what you do. That's what, as a big man, you tell your guards to do that.
Divac picked up the foul. His third. O'Neal not able to hit. And a loose ball foul against the Lakers.
Now we will find out about the poise of the championship Lakers. In the next 6 minutes, they got to start making a run. They have not scored. They've got no offensive rhythm, and they have got to begin to shut down the Kings.
Foul committed by Fox. Sacramento has equaled its biggest lead of the night. They're up by 21. They have led virtually all the way. Divac to the hook shot. And rebounded by Ori.
Speaking of running, Weber and Vlade have to make a personal commitment that they're going to run and run and run until the Lakers quit.
And you can hear the boos as it gets worse and worse for the Lakers.
A careless turnover. I mean, Phil Jackson's over there pulling his hair out.
Now, if you're Sacramento, you got to stay aggressive. Don't stand around. Start moving that ball a little bit quicker, and don't always have to pop from the top.
Weber goes down low. Jeffrey Christie showing the entire repertoire. 18 points, and he has also passed the ball well. He has 6 assists. He has 5 rebounds. He has Bryant. O'Neal. That was not a set play.
No. And that's a really hard ball for Vlade to rebound because he's battling Shaq, trying to hold him off. But you're never going to win the championship unless you're a great defensive rebounding team.
Here is Turkoglu. This crowd wants to explode. The Lakers did make a run late second quarter, not able to sustain it. And Rick Fox continues to struggle. 1 of 9 from the field.
Well, the Lakers will have one more run in them, and it's up to the Kings to make that run not really mean anything. So they got to continue to knock down shots.
Well, the ball back for the Lakers. And now Devin George will check back in. He'll replace Rick Fox. Now, in the regular season, this is a Sacramento team that went 61-21. That's the best record in the NBA, assuring home court throughout the postseason. 61 wins, franchise record, their first ever Pacific Division title. First round of the playoffs, they beat Utah 3-1. A very tough series. Kobe Bryant with only his third field goal. Then in the Western Conference semifinals, Sacramento very impressively knocked off Dallas in 5, and here in LA tonight trying to take a 2-1 lead on the defending champions.
This is Brian Shaw time for Phil Jackson. Surprised he's been sitting over there for so long. Usually when it gets desperate, it's right to Shaw and he delivers.
Turkoglu continues to deliver. It's been a terrific, oh look out. Vlade Divac upset. Derek Fisher involved. The official Don Vaden separating the players.
Kobe caught Vlade with an elbow. The play after the ball went through the net and the turning around to try to get back up the court.
Well, Vlade's still hot.
Well, he got caught right in the face with an elbow.
Well, not only did he get caught with the elbow, he got pushed in the mud by Kobe Bryant. He said, hey, don't penalize me.
Turkoglu's wild runner kisses beautifully off the glass, and then the other side, the push in the back by Kobe Bryant has caught Vlade off balance, and when he came back to get himself upright, the forearm right to the face.
And double technicals handed out to Kobe Bryant. Vlade Divac, 3.5 remaining in the third. Here's Bryant. Divac hit the floor. Bibby able to recover. Christie for 3. Yes! And the Kings lead 70-46 in what has become an embarrassing evening of basketball here for the Lakers at Staples.
Vlade is playing fabulous. He's got to respond here with poise and confidence. Block shot, Weber.
Loose ball foul on Turkoglu, who's hitting a technical foul. Steve Javi did not like the reaction to that call by Turkoglu.
And now Brian Shaw finally checking in. Phil Jackson really going to the edge of how far you can get down before you can still have a chance to come back and win it.
To the edge, he's there and beyond. 6 points in the quarter, that's all they scored.
Well, Steve Javi teeing up Hedo Turkoglu. Robert Horry will shoot the technical. Let's go over to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Mark, during that timeout, Rick Adelman pulled across Hedo Turkoglu, and he told him, hey, use your head. Steve Javi isn't playing. Remember who your opponent is. As for Vlade Divac, he turned to him and he said, hey, Vlade, not right now. Don't light any more fires. Marv?
Well, the Sacramento Kings have been on fire. They've maintained the excellent shooting, 53% from the field. They've outscored the Lakers here in the third quarter, 18-7. Just under 3 remaining in the third. O'Neal backing his way. Shaq coming up short. Kept alive. 2 on the shot clock. Shaw. The Lakers 1 of 10 from downtown. And the ball back to the Kings.
1 of 10 tonight? What were the numbers coming in before that? Was it just horrendous in games 1 and 2 combined?
3 of 19 in game 2. Phil Jackson saying that the three-point shooting was pathetic. We're just firing them up. Now they need the three-point shot as a foul is called. Divac's fouled in the act by Lindsey Hunter. Look at the three-point shooting through these conference finals. They have missed 26 of the last 29 coming into tonight's game.
One of the reasons that they're struggling, they have not been going through Shaq as much. In that second quarter, he dominated, and they got him the ball in that deep, low box where he really could do some damage. They haven't been able to do it, and these guys need Shaq to give them that freedom to stroke it from outside, or he's the only one that's been able to strike.
If you're Sacramento, keep scoring. Keep running it through Weber and Vlade all the time. Vlade's got an edge to his game right now after the confrontation, after getting hammered.
That was deflected by Christie, so the Lakers hold on.
When was the last time, and you've done a lot of Laker games, Marv, where you've seen the Lakers only score 7 in a quarter in the playoffs?
This is the worst performance that I have seen from this club this year, be it in person or watching on television. George's pass collected by Christie, and let's not take anything away from Sacramento. It has been a brilliant game for the Kings at both ends.
Two key guys, Christie and Turkoglu, who both stumped it up in Sacramento, are red hot and playing well in all aspects of the game.
But there's no question that once again Sacramento came out with the high energy level. George comes up short. O'Neal is blocked by Divac. Shaw not able to hit, kept alive. Lindsey Hunter now will regroup. He has a new shot clock. Here's George challenging Divac.
Good play by Vlade to let it go. Vlade's got 3 fouls. Devin George had the step on him. Now you got to get it back on the offensive end.
71-49. Sacramento, and the foul called on Brian Shaw.
Brown is going to feel as though they didn't get a fair shake with the whistles, and Phil Jackson just has that look. Well, guys, we have to learn something from this one tonight, because Sacramento was the aggressor from the start of the period, and throughout this ball game, they have set the tone.
I don't think officiating is a question here at all.
Absolutely not.
For the fans, because that's how the fans in Sacramento felt after game 1.
Well, this is a crowd that, unless there is a dramatic turn, that will be filing out very early in the fourth quarter. 73-49 Kings, coming up on 1 minute remaining in the third. Lakers 4 for 21 from the field in this third quarter, and the shots have been way off. Lindsey Hunter with a nice fake, not able to hit the three, and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Devin George.
Sacramento, if they want to keep the momentum that they have right now, the guards, Bibby and Christie, when Jackson comes in, they've got to do a better job of cutting the foul line. The big guys are holding off Shaq inside, but the long rebound, those are going, giving the Lakers second chance opportunities.
This game is the Kings to win or lose now, and they've just got to continue to play with some poise and make sure they continue to score the ball. Bibby.
Weber shooting over Ori. Bibby again with the back tap, but Hunter is on it. Only 9 points for the Lakers here in the third. Shaw for 3. The Lakers hit from downtown. Only their second three-pointer. And now the Kings can hold for a final shot of this third quarter. Kings now lead 73-52. Down to 5. And a blocking foul. Foul called on Hunter.
Little change of pace against Lindsey Hunter as we look at Derek Fisher, who has struggled offensively, and so Jackson is looking for just a change. All of the guys that have normally played well and given him some defensive pop, not today.
Maybe now 4 for 6 from the line. He has 15 points. A reminder, tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern, the WNBA returns to NBC. Teresa Weatherspoon and the New York Liberty going up against Lisa Leslie and the defending champion, LA Sparks. That's the return of the WNBA right here on NBC tomorrow, 3 Eastern. Final seconds of the third. George for 3. It's the Kings 75, the Lakers 52, and once again, the Lakers Lakers hearing the sentiments from the home crowd. It has been very ugly from the Laker point of view. In Sacramento, you can hear the cheering from here. We'll be back after these words from your local station.
Because the Lakers will not score 48 points in the fourth by themselves, Brian Shaw or not.
No shot.
Lakers 5 for 25 shooting in the third. As Shaquille O'Neal sitting down, Samaki Walker is back as this fourth quarter gets underway. Bobby Jackson has returned for Sacramento. Here's Bibby. Jackson with a ring ball comes up short. Good hustle by Weber, but not able to hit. And back comes Shaw.
This group out here for the Lakers is going to have to rely on Kobe Bryant to really get hot in order to carry it, because they don't have a lot of great offensive players out there.
Foul on Christie looking for the strip. Doug Christie has done an excellent job defensively against Kobe Bryant. Kobe 3 of 12 from the field, only 6 balls.
Remember, it's not just his head-up defense. It's his long rebounds. It's his stealing the ball on post-entry passes. Rick Adelman cannot believe this.
Well, for Turkoglu, what they've got to do is avoid the clock stopping. They don't want to get into the penalty. Let the Lakers start to build some cheap opportunities and then start to bring this crowd back in the game. They got the Lakers doubting themselves right now.
Bryant trying to put a move on Christie and goes. Back tap by Walker. Lindsey Hunter, Brian Shaw in the backcourt. Up front now Kobe Bryant with Kevin George and Samaki Walker. Here's Shaw for 3. The foul against the Lakers. Foul is called on Devin George. The basket by Shaw counts.
The pass off by Kobe Bryant. The ball is out of the hands of the shooter on the scrum for the offensive rebound. Turkoglu gets thrown to the ground. Devin George trying to make something happen physically. Gets called for the foul.
Bibby wide open for 3. Yes. 19 points for Bibby. 6 of 10. From the field, and the Kings lead 78-55.
And that's always a problem when you're trying to come back. Everything has to start going your way. The opponent has to miss wide open shots like that. You can't have mistakes like this.
Walker able to recover, and he is fouled by Christie.
Penetration by Bobby Jackson. The Lakers have not been able to have any sort of defensive success at all with him, and he finds Mike Bibby, who had so much time. He maybe had too much time, but was still able to knock it down. This guy, Mike Bibby, is really, really good.
Now he has picked his game up even more, had a solid regular season. Averaged just under 14 during the regular season. He's 19 points per game in the playoffs. Samaki Walker, 66% free throw shooter.
Not even close. Guard your face on the rebound.
Christie pressed by Bryant. And the foul on Kobe Bryant. That's his 3rd.
If you're going to ever have success in trying to beat the Lakers, you got to have terrific center play, and they've had that tonight from Vlade Divac. You got to have terrific guard play at the point, particular. Kobe's had a tough night here. Christie has not backed off against Kobe's aggressiveness. Run the give and go. They'll have to grab you. The whistles will come.
Well, every possession, what you want to do is move the ball, move people. You don't want to end up in this kind of situation. Trying to play one-on-one, then you have to fight the clock.
Jackson getting it off. Late whistle, foul on Bryant. That's 4 on Kobe.
Two mental breakdowns by Kobe Bryant on the same possession. The Kings were up against it. The shot clock winding down with the careless pass. And Kobe, who fouled Christie to set up this possession, then comes right there and knocks him down.
Challenging the shot. And, you know, when you're down at that point, what you want to do is see that kind of shot come up without them getting 3 opportunities to score again.
Bobby Jackson to the line. He's been providing energy and offense. Game 1, 21 points, 25 minutes. Game 2, 17 points in 23 minutes.
Look at job Rick Adelman has done, though, in terms of breathing confidence back into his Sacramento Kings. They were outplayed so badly in the first half of Game 1. Looked like the Lakers were just going to destroy them. Rick Adelman stuck with his guys, put Bobby Jackson in there, gave everybody some life, defended Chris Webber under the intense barrage of criticism there, and now the team is playing fabulous basketball once again.
So Jackson hits on all 3 free throws. This is the biggest lead of the night for the Kings. They're up by 25 points. Now committed by Turkoglu. That is his 4th.
Marv, from Game 1 to Game 3, I'm sensing a shift in Bill's dominance by the Lakers, that nobody can beat them.
Hey, the Kings are looking terrific.
That's an excellent observation.
And they have put Shaq on the bench. Is Phil Jackson even going to come back with them here? I don't know what he did wrong.
And the foul is charged to Shaw. That is his 3rd. 14 foul on the Lakers. Kings also have 4.
The last time I saw the Lakers get punished like this was against Portland in Game 2 in that Western Conference Final. They went on to win it as they lost the second game dominant, and Jackson set in the same way. And the score 106 to 77. And I mean, Portland just hammered them in that ball game. Adelman wants a timeout.
Offensive foul called on Turkoglu. That's his 5th. The Kings with an 81-56 lead, 9:44 remaining 4th quarter. So the 98 finals and the 2001 final series. His teams have been ahead 2-1 or 3-0 in all 22 of those victorious playoff series.
One of the great runs in all of sports history, in serious jeopardy at this point, and finally Shaq gets up off the bench. But the way that the Kings are moving without the ball, the way that they're back cutting, executing give and goes, the Lakers are reaching and grabbing, and the Kings' passing ability has made it so that the fouls have to be called.
5 team fouls, and that means they're going to be shooting from the rest of the time, and a little punishment for the cutting Chris. Doug Christie.
He heard the whistle and just stopped on the play, knowing it was a dead ball situation.
Kobe Bryant picked up his 5th foul. So Doug Christie with his 12th point. Here comes Vlade Divac for Hedo Turkoglu, who has been a major factor tonight. He came out hitting his shot. Turkoglu with 14 points in all. And the Kings now lead 83-56. Is it a question here tonight as Bryant gets the step and is able to come up with a rare bucket? It's only his 4th to 16 now. The Lakers putting on the pressure. Have the Lakers been so awful, or what has Sacramento done aside from the fact that they've played just terrific basketball? What have they done to put themselves in this position?
They've come with an offensive attack that can match the Lakers, and the Lakers, who are an outstanding defensive team, they normally just wear their opponents down and count on the other team shriveling up and wilting down the stretch because of the Lakers' poise and confidence from the championships and Phil Jackson and the abilities of Shaq and Kobe. Right now, though, Vlade has taken the game away from Shaq. Whether he can continue to do that through the course of a 7-game series remains to be seen.
Well, the difference comes down to when the Lakers are good offensively, they're also very good defensively. And their defense has been adequate but their offense has been awful, and so the Kings have done the job. Defensively, offensively, they've come out, and they've made the shots, and they've had the Lakers on their heels, and this will be a big, big win for them.
Lindsay on the line drive at home. That's his third field goal. He has 6. Lakers continue to go with pressure. Kings have no problem. Bobby Jackson is fouled. And that is number 5 on Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq has 5, Kobe has 5, but they're reaching and reacting. And so this is going to answer Rick Adelman's question. The last time the Lakers lost 2 in a row, they lost 2 in a row to Portland in 2000. Same 2 in a row to the Sacramento Kings. But the Lakers are a resilient squad, and Game 4 will be different.
As Bobby Jackson goes to the line, checking with Jim Grigg. Jim?
Marv, it was most interesting yesterday when we spoke to Phil Jackson. He thought that tonight Sacramento had to play a desperate game. And he felt they would be desperate tonight because he said they feel if they can get a game here, particularly Game 3, they'll head back to Sacramento feeling great because there's no way they'll feel that they'll lose 2 games on their home court again. So Phil Jackson saw something coming, and if he's right, that spells a lot of doom and trouble for the Lakers. Marv?
Well, Sacramento 36-5 at Arco Arena. That's the best home record in the NBA, and they're pretty good on the road with 16 of the last 18 of the W column. Most road wins in franchise history during the regular season with 25. Timeout has been called by the Kings. 8:19 remaining in the fourth. And a technical foul has been called. Rick Adelman upset.
He's ahead by 26 points, and he's getting a technical foul.
All right, we're headed to commercial. We'll be right back.
What are they going to do? Just quit?
Lakers at 33% from the field, while Sacramento has been right around 50% from the start. Jackson.
5 on the clock.
Now Bibby shoots the 3. And Weber able to grab the rebound. He is fouled.
Shaq is gone.
Chris Weber to the foul line. And it's on, apparently it's on Devin George.
Weber is playing the kind of game that you want from him. He's dominant on the offensive glass as that last possession. Shaq is always having to guard Vlade and the ball. Shaq's not able to just roll on the weak side.
Tomorrow here on NBC, it'll be the Nets and the Celtics in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That series tied at 1, covered starting at 5 o'clock Eastern Time following the WNBA. Weber now with 20 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Knocks it down from 3-point territory. 87-64 Sacramento. Nice play by Shaw on the trap. Hunter behind the back. Shaw. And the Lakers come up with the steal on the press.
They're counting them down. You got to get the ball inbounds. And they turn it over again.
The pass off the mark with Weber bothered by Hunter, who was all over Bibby.
Well, this is the one thing that the Kings don't want to show, that they can be rattled. They got this game under control. All they got to do is make good decisions and walk out here with an easy win. They don't want to hurt the Lakers make any run to give them some confidence.
They need 13 more points. Sacramento does.
Here is Bryant. That's a major problem for the Lakers. Kobe playing with 5. Shaq playing with 5. Another steal. Hunter for 3.
Them in the penalty. All we got to do is get the ball in and attack the other way. They turned over again.
So the Lakers once again able to rattle the Kings with the pressure defense. 11 unanswered points. They come from 27 down. They are now trailing by 15. Bryant for 3. 87-75. get it across the midcourt line. Weber. That's a clutch shot by Weber.
That is what MVPs do. That is why they pay Chris Weber what they do.
Here's Bryant from long range. Not able to hit the three. Bibby nearly lost it and recovered the dribble.
The Kings got to remember, they're in control of their own destiny. Just remain aggressive at the offensive end.
Oh, what a move by Bibby. Able to penetrate. Phil Jackson upset, and he takes a timeout.
Mike Bibby and Chris Weber, when everything seemed to be falling apart. Weber looks at Shaq and says, yeah, big man, what are you going to do about this? This is called face on the road with everything going against you. Then Bibby comes right back. 3 defenders, Shaq there as well, and this weaves his way right through.
Yeah, but
gives him a little shake, freezes him back on his heels, and delivers. And now Sacramento has apparently restored a bit of order.
But still much time remaining, 6 minutes to go in the fourth. O'Neal playing with 5, as is Brian. Hunter continues to hit from outside. Another 3 for Lindsey Hunter. He has 12 points in all. The basket counts.
That's the way that you answer those 3-point bombs. You got to continue to score if you're Sacramento. Hunter suddenly now back in the picture. Expect a lot of playing time from him in game 4.
Bryant. And Kobe Bryant beginning to catch fire. It's down to a 12-point Sacramento lead. They've led by as many as 27. The Lakers keep coming after they play brutal basketball for 3 quarters. Here is Christie, way off on his 3-point attempt. Hunter stopped by Jackson, and a bad shot. Although he thought he was fouled. Jackson met by Shaw.
Keep attacking if you're Sacramento. A long way to go here still.
Well, the Lakers, who couldn't make a 3-point shot, that's all they can do is make 3-point bombs right now.
Here is Jackson. O'Neal on the rebound. Just under 5 remaining in the fourth. It's a 12-point game. Bryant changed his mind. Here's Bryant giving it up. George not able to hit. O'Neal has to be careful. He nearly picked up number 6 going for that rebound. Weber. So Chris Weber on the break. He now has 24. And the Lakers take a timeout.
Jackson is amazing. He's telling his guys, calm down, guys. We got a ton of time. They're starting to feel the heat, and they're only ahead by 14, but they've got to continue to do this. Steal points. Get out and take advantage of the Laker defense, which is all pressing in the backcourt.
The Lakers are the one playing desperate ball right now, and the Kings' fast break attack is making them pay for that strategy.
After the horrible start, 2 of 14 from 3-point range. However, they've hit 7 threes here in the fourth quarter. 7 for 11 in the fourth quarter.
Couldn't buy a bucket earlier in the second quarter. They were hot, and now they're doing the same thing here in the fourth.
Kobe Bryant for 3. And Doug Christie on the loose ball. Bryant is back.
Come to the ball if you're Sacramento. They're double teaming everything. They're just racing around trying to create chaos.
If you're Sacramento, use some time and then go to the hoop.
Christie for 3. Yes! Doug Christie with 16 points. He extends to a 17-point Sacramento lead. Nice fake. Difficult time has come on here in the fourth quarter. 14 of his 21 in the fourth.
What does this tell us about Kobe Bryant? He never gives up on a game. He never gives up on himself. And now you see him giving that fist and saying, you know, we can do it. And is that a pirouette of disgust?
Well, Doug Christie, who has played a remarkable ball game in all aspects. 4-point play.
Well, Kobe Bryant hits the three, draws the foul. On the 4-point play, the Lakers move within 13 with 3:35 remaining in the fourth.
And the Kings got to remember, Kobe's got 5 fouls. Get him out of the game. He's wearing you out.
Jackson, O'Neal on the rebound.
Lakers have made a defensive switch. They're guarding Shaq on Chris Webber.
Right. Shaq with another opportunity. He is fouled. So O'Neal to the line. Foul on Divac. That is his fourth. Shaq just 1 of 2 from the foul line.
Shaq has not been part of this big run, and it finally looked like he was going to get into it, and they're going to send him to the line, but 3:15 to go, and the story is Kobe Bryant, and what a scoring exhibition and 3-point shooting exhibition he's put on here in the fourth.
Kings have to battle through the fatigue. What they're doing is they're sending Vlade up to handle the ball. That's why they put Devin George, the Lakers, on Vlade. Ouch.
Well, O'Neal has been shooting 63% from the line in the postseason. Now Robert Horry comes on for Brian Shaw. Lakers receiving a lift from Shaw and Hunter. Brian Shaw with 10 points. He had 2 from downtown. Lindsey Hunter with 12 points, including 2 3-pointers.
Here's the score. Kobe Bryant 16 in the quarter, and the Kings 22.
George on the rebound. Not able to hit. George thought he draw the foul. And it's last touch by the Lakers. So the Lakers go back to the pressure. And a troubling violation call.
You're only allowed to run the baseline after a made basket or free throw. Otherwise, it's the same as playing in the live action on the court with the ball. Vlade has that ball. He's moving. Bennett Salvatore right on top of it. Easy play to call.
Now Brian Shaw checks back in for Robert Horry. 3:11 remaining. In the fourth quarter, the Kings up by 13. Lindsey Hunter again. A steal. George had it knocked away. And Christie is on it. Beautiful ball handling by Christie to get it to the front court. Now Bibby being played by George, and Sacramento looking to use the clock. 2:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Here's Bibby off the ball fake. Taking the line away. It counts. And the foul.
Shaq having to guard Chris Webber because of Webber's ability to knock down shots, get to the hoop. The court is spread. You got Shaq playing defense on the strong side. Down the lane. Watch the ball fake at the very last minute. Bibby's looking to pass. Everybody's playing passing lanes. Layup. 100 points. Arguably ball game.
Devin George on the foul, his fourth. Mike Bibby looking for his 24th point.
He has had a tough night at the line. A guy that shoots 80+%.
Yes, Bibby 5 of 8 at the line. Here's Shaw. O'Neal could not gather it in. Webber able to deflect it to Jackson. So 2:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Kings just desperately trying to hold on after leading by as many as 27. A gallant comeback by the Lakers. At one point, they reeled off 14 straight points here in the fourth. Christie not able to hit. And Hunter on the rebound. Once again, the Lakers will look for a quick shot, probably from downtown, where they have suddenly been hitting. Bryant not able to connect. Bobby Jackson leaping for that rebound. And Kobe Bryant looks to draw the foul, but cannot. He is fouled out.
Guard play. Mike Bibby was the difference in the explosive first half. Now long rebounds. Bibby, Jackson getting that done, controlling the few possessions that they need to hold on and get this remarkable victory here. And now Kobe has to sit it out and watch the rest of the way.
What a finish for Kobe Bryant. Ended up hitting 4 of 9 from downtown and 16 of his 23 coming in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was trying to draw that foul and, again, showing that competitive attitude that he has, that he's going to put himself in harm's way regardless of what his foul situation is. And the Kings are not closing the door by making a free throw. Bryant still moving his feet as the call is made. Bibby misses his free throw. Jackson comes back, misses his free throw. And Kobe is saying, come on, man, I got to have that call.
Jackson is 5 of 7 at the line. Usually a solid free throw shooter. Missing both. George on the rebound. But the Lakers down by 13, just under 2 remaining. In the fourth, O'Neal over Divac. Christie comes up with the loose ball.
Shaq neutralized by Vlade, and the guards able to be the difference. Christie, Bibby, and Jackson. Rebounding, scoring, defense, leadership.
The one thing that helped the Lakers was the Kings started shooting three-pointers. All they had to do was keep making twos.
Here's Shaw. Nice combination. Shaw on the alley-oop to O'Neal. It's 100-89, but time running out on the Lakers. A minute and 10 remaining in the fourth.
Vlade's got to come to the ball. The play is broken. It is over now. Turnaround is fair play. They throw one up to Shaq. Let's throw one up to Webber.
26 points for Chris Webber. Lindsey Hunter.
They had to have that perfect quarter. And Divac picks up the foul in order to come all the way back. And not enough things went right, but this is a terrific play by Bibby to Webber just to reestablish their confidence. I mean, they got very tentative here in the fourth quarter of play. Under the pressure of the Lakers, they started to stand and stall, made mistakes, and got this crowd believing.
To beat a great team like Los Angeles, two-time defending champions, everybody has to play well. And that has been the case for Rick Adelman's Kings tonight.
You know, Mark, we thought they'd be filing out early. They stayed right till a 1 minute mark.
They had just begun to file out. The Lakers putting on that run in the fourth quarter. In one stretch, 14 unanswered. But Sacramento set the tone right at the start. It was a combination of Bibby and Turkoglu and Divac. Christie did the job defensively. Lakers with 39 points in the fourth quarter, but will fall short. They will look to turn things around. Game 4 Sunday night here at Staples, and then Game 5 in Sacramento on Tuesday, where the Kings have won during the regular season 36 out of 41, the best home record in the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal will depart. Slava Medvedenko comes on, as does Mark Matson.
Think they're happy up in Sacramento right now? I was there game 2 when they won. I can't remember a happier bunch of people racing out of Arco that night. The celebration has begun already in Sacramento.
A terrific performance by the Kings. Matson lost it. We're down to 25 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter, and the Sacramento Kings will take a 2-1 lead on the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, they have about a 5-second shot clock differential, so one more shot's going to come up.
Bibby. Final seconds. Here's George. The Sacramento Kings able to withstand the desperate rally of the Los Angeles Lakers in the fourth quarter. It was a late wake-up call for the Lakers, and the Kings, who once led by as many as 27, win it 103-90. Let's get to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Mark, 26 points for Chris.
Well, an outstanding all-around performance for Chris Webber. 26 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Mike Bibby, 23 points, 5 assists. Doug Christie, 7.